After weeks of waiting, Drake has finally responded to Kendrick Lamar, Future, Metro Boomin, and everyone else who has been coming at him with an insane diss track, and as what seems like the entire rap game has turned on Drake. The pressure has been—
Bro, I don't think they turned on him, bro. I mean, I guess you can say that. I don't know. What did Drake do, bro? Comment what y'all think Drake did to make people change on him. I couldn't begin to think. I haven't heard nothing, I haven't seen nothing. So I don't know where they getting this shit from.
Been at an all-time high for him to deliver, and with this song, he definitely did just that. So in a rap world where everyone has been moving against Drake in an all-out musical war, the pressure's been on for the OVO rapper to actually respond to the guys who he has had so much tension brewing with for years, and with this new diss track, Drake has shown that he is ready for battle as he comes firing at his rivals in full force. Now on this diss track, Drake has 5 main targets who he attempts to humiliate, with them being Kendrick Lamar, Future, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, and Rick Ross.
That's crazy. I never seen what Metro Boomin looked like until now. That's wild.
Future, Metro Boomin.
That's him. That's crazy. Never seen Metro in my life, bro. I've always heard the name, always seen his work, but now I see what he actually looked like.
The Weeknd, and Rick Ross, who of course all just dissed him on Future and Metro's album We Don't Trust You. And while Drake fired at all these artists, the one who he seemed to spend the most time coming at is Kendrick Lamar, and considering the fact that these two have been throwing subliminals at each other for over a decade, and also that Kendrick just came at Drake with one of the most insane verses that rap has seen in years on Like That, Drake had to fight Kendrick with everything he has, and while somebody like J. Cole completely folded in on himself when trying to diss K-Dot, Drake made sure to at least say things that actually could hurt him, although when you look at the shots that Drake threw in their entirety, he made one mistake that may end up—
This is what I'm saying, bro. Like, Drake, make up your mind. Which one you want to be, that hard ass that's going to, rap and get it in? Or you going to be sitting here crying like this shit here, bro? Like, make up your mind. What you trying to do, man?
Costing him this entire feud. But before we can understand that, we have to look at the way Drake designed this performance as a whole to not just clap back at Kendrick, but to play on and subvert the very ideology of his sentiments on Like That as a whole. Whether Drake responds to Kendrick's Prince outlived Michael Jackson bar with a line like "What's a prince to a king, he a son," or he says "You won't ever take no chain from us," to fire back at Kendrick's line "I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos." The way Drake plays on a lot of what Kendrick said on Like That shows that Drake didn't just do his homework coming into this battle, but also that he's still able to dissect all of the chips his opponents threw out against him and throw them right back in their face, and in a battle of this level, this is a skill that can help him hold his own at all times. A lot of the shots Drake throws at Kendrick are both pretty clever and funny, such as when he disses Lamar's shoe size with a bar like "How you big steppin' with a size 7 men's on."
That is wild, bro. I didn't know that nigga had a look like— only one I know. Well, my nigga Desmond and my nigga OB. Shout out my nigga OB, Elijah Wan. Miss my nigga, man. But anyway, them the only two niggas I know with feet that small. But see, OB is like, he about a little bit shorter than me, maybe like a couple inches shorter than me. But Desmond is like an inch or two taller than me. So like, even though OB feet size kind of matches his, body type, Desmond's no. So niggas with little feet, you can't trust those type of niggas. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing that out there. But also, you know what? Kendrick is 5'5". So I mean, it kind of makes sense.
And the whole bit where Drake clowns Kendrick for doing feet—
Shuggy! I'ma give Shuggy some love. Shuggy watching
on
the
pop
live.
songs with artists like Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift is a nice dig at Kendrick for what it is, but as these disses are nothing more than just some light jabs, they are not defining what this diss really means for the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, as Drake takes much bigger swings at him in the track, but the question really is, does he land them? Now, one of the main ways Drake tries to clown Kendrick is by saying that he is just as inauthentic as any other artist in the music industry, and beyond this, whatever Top Dog Entertainment orders him to do, he will instantly follow. And despite Kendrick not being on TDE anymore, which makes a lot of this feel like it was written years ago, this is one of the strongest angles that Drake tries to come at Kendrick with, as he alludes to the fact that Lamar is getting legally extorted by the label, and with Drake having signed a $500 million contract with Universal where he keeps his masters, he most likely does have the edge to knock Kendrick about this on some level, but regardless of splits and deals. Talking about how bad a record contract may be,
look at my nigga Drake looking like Michael Jackson in a cut. Okay.
Is only gonna push Drake so far, but his disses don't stop here. Now, while Drake responding to Kendrick's Big 3 claims and saying that Travis Scott, SZA, and 21 Savage are all in the conversation before him may seem pretty...
That's crazy. SZA? SZA? He trying to say SZA is before Kendrick? Oh, snaps.
Random and strange at first glance. What's really significant about this here is that Drake name drops SZA, who was on TDE alongside Kendrick for years, and with a move like this, while also talking about how Top Dawg's management takes at least half of what Kendrick Lamar's music made. He's being really tactical as he's doing all of this to try to tear up Kendrick Lamar from the inside, and beyond this, Drake does not stop here, and possibly for the worst, as overall, the line that is going to end up holding the most weight from this track when we look at it in its entirety is when Drake says, "I be with some bodyguards like Whitney." And while on the surface, this is just a line where Drake is boasting and making a reference to Whitney Houston and her starring role in the film.
Damn, that was hard. That went right over my head, bro. That shit was hard.
Bodyguard.
Want to know I take my
I'm
business
saying?
to the next level?
Premium,
It's simple.
bro. This shit is
It's Shopify.
ridiculous.
Shopify has
Ridiculous.
When you understand the fact that Kendrick Lamar's wife's name is Whitney, you realize that this bar serves as an attempt to get under Kendrick's skin with a reference to something in his private and personal life, and by doing this, while it may seem super diabolical and show that Drake is operating on a level where he is willing to destroy anything in any way possible, when you know all the facts, you really gotta ask yourself if Drake has learned at all from his last massive feud, because after mentioning Pusha T's wife's government name on his track Duppy Freestyle, Push came and handed Drake the biggest L of his career with the story of Adidon.
Hey, Shug. I'm listening. I'm reacting to this video or whatever, and he said that Pusha gave Drake the biggest L of his career. I told you that. I was talking to Desmond. Never mind, wrong person. I was telling my nigga Desmond that Pusha T gave that nigga the biggest L of his life. Desmond like, all he did say was he had a son. I said, nah, it was more than that. Now, I couldn't remember verbatim, but I remember he gave that motherfucker a big L.
But overall, aside from this possible mistake, Drake responded back to Kendrick with about as good of a performance as he could have, as his shots were calculated, diabolical, and well written, but with Drake relying on some of the same methods he used in his beef with Pusha T here. This could have given Kendrick all the motivation to do something truly nuclear against him, but beyond dissing just Kendrick, Drake threw a lot of smoke at Future, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, and Rick Ross, and out of all these artists, it seemed like even Drake was shocked that he had to diss Rick Ross. Now, despite how shocking it was for Drake to see one of his most loyal collaborators turn against him, it seemed like Drake shut down Rick Ross as he dissed him from every single angle he could have, but just a few hours after Push Up surfaced, Ross has already fired back with a diss of his own as he has shown the power of competition in hip-hop, as with his back against the wall, Ross was able to craft a track that definitely warrants a response from Drake as Ross...
I mean, his diss track, it wasn't like crazy hard. It was just like he was just talking his shit. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain. He was just talking his shit. I wasn't like, damn, that shit hard. Oh, damn, that shit was hard. I was laughing the whole time because he kept calling him white boy. Had a little clip in there when he was glazing him, like, you know what I'm saying? So he was really just talking his shit. And I mean, you gotta respect that at the end of the day, huh?
Ross said some insane things that actually revealed why he turned on Drake in the first place. From Ross saying how Drake's failed at running a label to questioning Drake's own credibility because of the persona he tries to portray himself through. Ross throws out some pretty solid shots at Drake, but beyond the jabs, what makes this cut insane in its own regard is where Ross says, "Told you, stay scheming, I predicted my fate," which is obviously referring to his collab with Drake and French Montana, and with Ross's message on the song being very clear about the fact that he will always be by the side of his friends. Later in the track, we find out that he wasn't just defending any friend, but French Montana of all people, as Ross says that Drake threatened to take legal action against French to avoid having a collab of theirs on his latest project, Mac and Cheese 5, and regardless of what you think about French. This is wild for so many reasons, as beyond showing just how loyal Rick Ross is to his collaborators, we now know that Drake went as far to threaten an artist who has worked with him so closely in the past with legal action. Now, the only thing that holds this diss track back is the fact that Ross drops this insane information just by blabbing on at the end of the diss and not actually by rapping it, but still. for the insane things he revealed about Drake and for taunting him with details that were placed in the track, like the clip where Drake says his favorite rapper is Rick Ross. While he won't definitely get the fanfare that Drake has gotten, it's clear that Ross and Drake are going to have even more back and forths if either of them wants to walk out as the clear winner against one another. Now, right behind Kendrick, the rapper who Drake comes at the most here is Future, and as Future has had some of the most successful moments of his
He ain't gonna talk about when he told Metro to shut the fuck up and go play with some drums. He ain't gonna talk about
his
that.
career while working with Drake. Drake had a much stronger angle to enter the ring against him with, as he immediately comes at Future on this track, talking about how he gave him his first #1 song, and throughout the rest of the cut, he taunts both Future and Metro, saying that they are seemingly obsessed with him, and while not the craziest line technically, Drake telling Metro to be quiet and make some drums is one of the most memorable moments on
Destiny, I told you, he told Metro to shut up and make some drums. Cause me and Shuggy was talking about that earlier. I was like, I think he said to make some drums. Then Shuggy was like, he said to go play some drums. No, he said to go make some drums. That's what I thought.
With him, and while not the craziest line technically, Drake telling Metro to be quiet and make some drums is one of the most memorable moments on the entire track, and is definitely going to stick in people's heads all the way to the point where Future and Metro will have to respond, otherwise it will seem like they already lost. Now, after over a decade of tension, another artist who got some shots thrown his way on this track was The Weeknd, as Drake came at him for seemingly abandoning Toronto and faking his relation to their city, but he doesn't stop here, as he clowns The Weeknd for giving Future and Metro so many features and also allowing his manager to apparently blow a lot of his money away. Now, as The Weeknd's a singer, it'll be interesting to see how, if he at all, engages further in this feud, and while these are the 5 main artists to receive all the shots from this track, beyond the disses, Drake also makes it a point to mention J. Cole on this cut and his recent move of apologizing to Kendrick, as Drake says that he doesn't care what the guy he just did a joint tour with thinks, because in his eyes, Kendrick Lamar's verse on Like That was weak, and while we all know Drake doesn't even believe that himself, this is the type of energy he really needs to channel at this moment to hold his own in this beef against Kendrick. So overall, looking at how Drake went against so many heavyweights in the industry who are dissing him with only the help of a DJ Academic sample, it's pretty impressive to see how much damage he was able to deal here, and while Kendrick in the grand scheme of things is really not fazed by any of this despite how hard it may have been, and if anything, all of these shots are only going to make Kendrick's diss even harder. For everybody else, Future and Metro Boomin are going to have to do something diabolical.
My nigga, HM05, is you the jet who met Kai? Nah, I ain't meet Kai yet. Not yet. I'm gonna meet Kai. But it was Canel Joseph though. Shout out Canel.
Goal to get an edge over Drake and for The Weeknd. While he walks out of this looking the best out of him, Future, and Metro, he still needs to go against Drake in a way of his own. So overall, this track definitely succeeded in what it was trying to do for the most part. Now, with a lot of the people coming at Drake seemingly being put to rest for a while with this track, we are now left looking at the center stage matchup of this entire beef, which is of course Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. The balls have been placed right back in Kendrick's court, as after getting the most direct and personal shots that have ever been thrown at him in his entire career, it's now time for Kendrick to prove once and for all who the king of this generation is, as Drake has stood up and challenged him in a way that no other rapper has ever, and while Kendrick still may—
I mean, bro, like I was telling my nigga D-Nice, I'm gonna let the video play out and I'll tell y'all how.
Be the favorite in this beef. Drake is definitely going to push him to the limit. This is really amazing for hip-hop, as we are witnessing a battle unfold between the two most important rappers of our generation, and no matter what side you are on and who you want to win, just appreciate watching these two go at it in a way that is truly changing everything in rap music. So let me know, what do you think of Drake's new diss track, and who do you think got hurt the worst, and who do you think is going to come out of this situation on top? I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and if you want to see my video where I rank every album that's ever been released between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, all in order to find out who the best artist of them truly is, check out the suggested video.
Alright, what I was saying was Drake and Kendrick is in two totally different lanes, I feel, because Drake is the better artist. Now Drake is a great artist. He can do multiple things. He's always switching it up, staying relevant, you know what I'm saying? Just, staying on point with it. Kendrick is just a lyricist, a mad lyricist that will heat you up and spit you out, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, he may have a ghostwriter here and there, but who's most likely to have a ghostwriter, Kendrick or Drake? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, who got it worse? I think Metro got it worse, bro. Because he literally told that nigga, and he said his name. He said, Metro, shut the fuck up and go make some drums. So So technically, Metro got it worse. You know what I mean? And I mean Drake shit was hard. You know, I definitely gave it a 10 out of 10. Once I think about it, I probably need to back it up a little bit and give it a 9 out of 10. But it was hard. It was hard. What do y'all think? Who y'all think is gonna come out on top of this? Drake, Future, or any other mother? Kendrick, K. Dot. You know, y'all let me know.